My name is Jia Wei. I'm from USW Student Enterprise. And do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. My name is Thania, Acarón, and I'm part of the Faculty of Creative Industries, and I'm also the founder of the Body Hotel.
Amazing. So congrats on your launch.
Yeah.
What's your entire story? Like, how did you found this?
Oh gosh. Okay, so I started. Well, I trained as a dance movement psychotherapist. I'm from Puerto Rico. Of course, you have to say that in every interview. Very proud Puerto Rican. And I went to New York, and then Argentina, and then when I came to the UK to do my PhD, then there was a kind of a need for having a space of respite. So I was calling it, instead of me time, it's you time. And because I'm an artist as well, I wanted to combine like personal development with my dance and psychotherapy training and create a safe space for professionals to actually engage and move. And back when we could move in the same space, I know, in the same studio. So I invited people into that space. It used to be a retreat, so it used to be a day once a month that we used to gather together. And I love that experience. The cross mix of people. We had like new moms who really needed just some time for themselves. We had a financial analyst.
Amazing.
We had youth workers and nurses, and this was in Scotland. And then, so I started to get asked to do things like that, to do retreats, and I did one in Dundee for counselors, and then I did one for Pride. We do one for queer people in Edinburgh, and I moved to Wales 5 years ago, and I said, well, why not? Why not do it here? So it started as a series of workshops, I guess, but now it's turned into something completely different.
A complete small business and small company, and you're going to launch it really soon. So when's the launch date exactly?
Yeah, so we're doing a little launch weekend, and we've been doing, so I'm part now of a team. So this was really, this started like a one-woman enterprise. And now we have Salish Patel, who's the non-executive director. We have an arts management intern from the Royal Welsh, Emma Thorpe, who's amazing, who's been incredible. And we have a new resident dance movement psychotherapist, which I'm very excited about, Samina Ali. And she is part of there's a dance movement psychotherapy Wales hub, which is, we're now 7, which is a wonderful group of dance movement psychotherapists. So she's coming in to launch our Movida branch, which is the private practice branch. So I'm going to focus more on the training and doing body hotel workshops for employee well-being aspect of that. So we've been doing stuff with NHS, with Health Education in Wales, with the different health boards. So I've been kind of leading that side of things. But as people have really understood that dance and movement is really important for their well-being, then we decided to invite Samina and to see if people want to go for their own psychotherapy services. She does couples. She's going to start doing groups in August. So it's like a whole different branch and a brand of services as well.
Nice. So where are you based at? Do you have like a hub where people can go to, or do people just book you guys for like maybe one-to-one sessions, or is it like a block of classes? How do you go about that?
Well, for now, just because even though we're opening up a little bit more after lockdown, we felt that we could appeal to people who are in rural spaces or international people. So for now, we're keeping the services online. Hopefully, down the line, when things stabilize, hopefully a little bit more, then we'll be doing more kind of in-person things. But all the sessions are going to be completely virtual. It just ended up being really positive. I thought it wasn't going to work. Virtual movement, but actually it did. There was some connections. I had a movement connection with someone from Venezuela that I've never met before. When the employee well-being workshops, we were like, oh, I've seen people's bodies. We've seen their whole bodies, And so I think for now, we're going to keep it online.
Okay. So are these online classes like readily bookable by everybody?
Yes, so we have our website. Well, we've had our website, but now it's been revamped, and you can go to book, you know, there, and then you'll see the whole menu of the services. So for now, we have the launch as well, the workshop. So that's going to be a taster. Well, I say taster because they used to be day long,
Yeah.
you know, a whole day
The
long.
retreat,
I've
right?
done I've done a
Yeah.
weekend. So we're going to do a 3-hour movement session. Obviously, it's at your pace. We don't, you know, dance psychotherapy, we don't teach dance. It's not about teaching or doing something that you're not comfortable with. It's really
Yeah.
about um, finding your body and finding what you feel could express certain things or just connecting, really. So we're going to do, 3 hours. And usually the employee well-beings are just an hour or lunchtime thing, like 3 hours. And you can book them through our website. We have a new booking website. We're trialing it out. But that's all on www.thebodyhotel.com.
Okay, and are there any like social media handles for people to follow you?
Yes, okay. So it's at the Body Hotel.
Okay.
And so we're on Facebook, Instagram. I just changed my own LinkedIn to the Body Hotel because it's really interesting. I mean, I never thought that from being a kind of sole trader, I'm kind of hybrid, right? Because I work for the university, but then I do all the freelance things as well. And it was the startup studio in USW that said, you don't have to become an organization. I was like, no, I don't want to. This is too. It's been difficult, but actually, it's been a nice, you know, reconnecting to the center of what I am as a professional, as an artist, trying to combine those things and go, right, this is what's important to me, and well-being is the most important. So the Body Hotel, so it's at the Body Hotel, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're doing a lot of videos on Instagram, a lot of little tips called the Body Concierge. You can tips.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought, you know, it would be really nice to just have some practical things as well that people can do on their own home. And and we had this is a new kind of to promote our launch and also to get people thinking about reflecting in different ways. We have this thing called the Shape Journal Challenge.
What is that?
Yeah. So it's a hashtag Shape Journal Challenge, and it's that I'm gonna hold you to that way. We have to, so every day for 7 days, you take a picture of a shape. So a body shape can be, you know, just anything, a gesture, or, you know, I don't know, what's a body shape?
I don't know, like something weird, something.
It could be weird, it could be
Yes.
anything. So it's like no judgment and no analysis, and you don't have to explain what it is. It's just a shape that symbolizes your day.
Okay.
It's a way of going, right, I connect to my body. I go, right, my day was, and then you do. And you post a photo and then, you know, tag us and hashtag Shape Journal Challenge at the Body Hotel. And you do that for 7 days. And then we're going to, maybe if people do it for 7 days, we're going to pick somebody to give away a ticket to the workshop, which is really exciting. But also, it's been great because I've had people can send photos through DM if they don't want to do the whole upload.
Yeah.
But I've had like Norway, Texas, New York City,
Incredible.
friends from Chile, my friends from Chile, dance therapists and like other therapists, and so a network of colleagues as well who've been like supporting it, and so I'm very excited about that.
Wow. So anybody can join at any time.
Yeah, you just post a photo. You go day 1.
Yeah. Hashtag.
Hashtag blah, 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 day 2. So your day can start at any point. You just got kind of put the number wherever it is, or you know, DM us and I'll do it for you. I'll go, which day is this? Okay, day 1. I will put it there.
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah.
So like the next question is like for the students. So if people want to actually start a business, what would you advise them to do?
Yes. It's true everything they say about having a support network. That's really important. So many people have been like, you know, I know it's very cliche, but people say it takes a village, but actually I've had to go, right, this is my puppy, I don't call her a baby, I call her a puppy. The Body Hotel has puppies. Do you trust somebody? Who do you trust to hand over your puppy and go like Salish with a good friend of mine, and it comes from the financial side. For me to go, right, do you want to share this dream with me? It's very difficult for me to let it go. Or to have Emma come in as an arts management intern and go, right, what should I do with my social media? Have somebody external take a look at it and give you feedback. And that's probably what I want to say first to students. First is the support, get it in place, start building those relationships, because they take a long time for people to trust and for you to trust somebody else. And also get external eyes to look at your work. Don't be afraid, even if it's not finished. I have that principle even when I teach in physical theater and in dance. I'm like, have people come in to see your work. Don't shut yourself down until you have it perfect, because it's never going to be. It's never going to be. It's like an emerging thing. And somebody will go, so why do you use dance movement in your... And I have to explain, right? Like, well, you use movement and dance has a certain cultural thing. But even that question from somebody external is brilliant, because it makes you rethink and it makes you recenter.
From their perspective. Right?
Exactly. And you get people, saying, I don't understand this. Right? Because in university we start getting into like jargon and very specific terminology. We start preaching to our own choir. And if you want to start reaching out, particularly, well, in my field, because therapy has such a stigma. It has such a... People think that there has to be something wrong to access therapy. And I don't believe that. Because I think having that additional perspective, an outsider that's not your friend, not your family, because we're all biased, will really help you. So having the outside people go, actually, this is a barrier to me, or I don't get this, or why is this important to you, like you're doing now, is extremely important.
It reevaluates the entire situation.
Yeah. And it's that core, doing a kind of dance with psychotherapy as a social enterprise. I was doing a conference workshop, and I kind of re-geared everything into what because of the entrepreneurship program, because of having all these meetings with people that have the business hat on. And one of the things that I did was do a collage. I don't know if you like art. I did a collage about what was essential for my persona, both in the personal side, but also the professional side. And I picked like 3 core things. For me, was being very down to earth, because I kind of say it like it is. Another was to be hybrid, so looking at intersectionality and the fact that I'm many different identities. And the other one's diversity, and just making sure that I'm having a multicultural approach to everything. Those 3 things are super important to me. So that was the first line of defense, the drawing board from where everything then stemmed out from.
So it's your personal blueprint, which bloomed into something.
Oh, I like personal blueprint. That's a good one.
That is, nice. Okay, then another one is you mentioned about kind of like the external sources. So did you actually go into any, like let's say, Big Ideas Wales, or like Business Wales, or maybe USW? Like what kind of support did you get from places in Wales to make your business happen?
Oh, that's a really good question. Well, I got asked, I applied, for example, to be part of the Creative Cardiff Advisory Board. There was a call out, and I was like, oh, why not? Like, just to be, they have students, they have people from all over the industry. So that was already a nice way to start building those relationships with key people, and also to understand where they're coming from. And I didn't do any of the competitions, the big ideas or anything. Startup Studio was really kind to start the conversation going and give me guidance. But mostly it was my Dancing with Psychotherapy network. There's a Wales Arts Therapies Advisory Forum, WhatsApp. They're a coalition of all the arts therapies in Wales. So they look at that relationship with the NHS. And having lots of coffees. I had lots of coffees with people. I I met with Sally Lewis, who's from Arts Council Wales, the wellbeing division, and she actually was the one that gave me the idea to start this. Actually, we were sitting in a coffee, and I was explaining the Body Hotel, thinking that this was a project that was like in a drawer somewhere, and she said, "Well, why don't you do this for NHS workers?" And I'm like,
It all clicks. It all
I was
clicks.
like, well, yeah, I mean, I have all the things written down. I have all the previous participants' testimonials. I have some feedback. There's a good rationale. This was before pandemic, by the way. And then the pandemic hit, and then people started realizing, oh, physical activity is important. And I was like, yes, we've been saying that for ages. But if, having those coffees with people, and yeah, but the module that I'm leading now as part of the MA drama was professional practices, and we had to do a creative conversation, sort of like what we're doing now, and that was part of their assignment, and it was wonderful because it gave students like placements an excuse, a legitimate excuse, to sit down with someone and have a conversation and have an interview, and having those excuses like placements. Students are like, oh, we have to do a placement. Oh, we have to do this for an assessment. I'm like, it's a really good excuse. A professional will be more likely to meet with you and talk to you if you have, if this is for an assignment or if this is for a course. So those were the networks that I started to look at, the Arts Council and my artist networks in Wales. There's a lot of freelance networks happening and showing up. All the network meetings and showing up. And now I have a queer network, which I love, with Glitter Cymru. That was wonderful. And from those opportunities, we were in the same panel together, right? Then I got asked to be in the editorial board for LGBTQ which is the first bilingual queer magazine in Wales. So it's one thing has had a knock-on effect. Yeah. But it's until you not only show up, but like engage with people, email them afterward, meet with them, and invest. I think it's about investment and reciprocity.
Yeah.
It's like, what can I do for you? What can you do for me? How can we move forward? What actions can we put together in place? Those are key. Those are absolutely key to building a little family, a little network, and keeping an eye out for people you can trust or people you would hire. I do that a lot. My students don't know it, but now they're going to know it. But whenever you have a workshop, I watch all the students, what they're doing, how they engage with the professionals, and I'm like, well, when this person graduates, I might hire them. And I have approached students from even me doing a guest workshop.
Yeah.
And one of them did a short film with me, and one of them got hired to do a different project. So if you're in a workshop and you're thinking, oh, this is not a lecture, everybody's watching, right? And I know, I'm like,
everybody's
I could hire you, you could hire you. Actually, 2 or 3, I think, of my students have been hired, paid from guest lecturers who come in and loves how they engage with them and loves how they email them afterwards and followed up. Mm-hmm. That's what you want, really. But it takes that, not being passive.
Yeah, being like proactive, and you really like reach out and engage and seize the opportunities that come towards you.
Yeah. And not be pushy, because that's the other one. And do your research.
Fine line in between.
Yeah, because if you email somebody with like a couple one-liners, it's misspelled, and you don't say why you're contacting them, why it's important. It's like, oh, I saw your Twitter.
For sure.
Exactly. But if you do your research, you go, well, I saw your talk on this, and I really enjoyed this. And this was in a lot of the entrepreneurship program workshops, and also the careers team also came to our module to speak, and I was like taking notes, like LinkedIn, how to do it, and I was like, it's an ongoing learning curve, and also reacting to what the audience or your market or the participant wants, and which is, I think, well, for me, it's the pinnacle of Jasmine psychotherapy. You go where the client wants, and you're not imposing yourself on other people. So you're really what they bring,
Mm-hmm.
rather than your own,
Yeah.
plan. And there's no plan.
So I guess like every person is unique, and you like really listen to them and you see what they need, and then you see how you can really help them with what you do. Yeah. Nice. So, what are your thoughts on your launch day? And are you like are you hyped up? Are you excited for the future? What are you
Yes.
gonna do?
Yes, I'm very excited about the launch. It's a relaunch. It's like it's a branding, rebranding, a rebirth. Oh yeah, that's good. It's a rebirth because it is something that I've been a part of since 2013, 14, but it's just coming to fruition. And to have and so many people that are coming that are having so incredible to the process. So it feels like a big family reunion, and also it's new people that want to come in and book into the workshop. So I'm feeling quite hyped, and I'm feeling like, okay, here it is, world. Here it is, and hopefully it takes off a little bit more. And well, my goal is to have the Body Hotel be kind of a standard offering for people who are experiencing burnout, people who are in very high risk professions, high demand, very demanding jobs. Which now it's pretty much a lot of people are really struggling with that. So having a little safe haven, even if it's for an hour or for 5 minutes, for a tip, or some kind of like a little photo where you check in, is really important. So I'm hoping that dance and movement also become more mainstream in the UK as well, and internationally, because the body is really important, and we keep forgetting that.
Oh, for sure.
There's a lot of like, oh, dancing, I don't really dance, so I have 2 left feet, and I'm like, well, it's not really about that. We move, even if we would paralyze the whole body. We move our fingers, we can move our eyes, our heart is beating, and we're breathing. So it is quite fundamental to the way we engage with life.
A fundamental essence of humanity. It comes down to movement, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. So, any final words to the viewers out there? Like, what do you want to tell them about, let's say, the Body Hotel and what it can offer to everybody?
Oh gosh. Okay. The 3-second pitch.
There you go.
Well, I just think like my position is that movement is essential, and is essential to our well-being, and we can find different ways to work and connect and understand why we're acting a certain way, or why things happen in a certain way. And I think creativity and movement really can be a way for you to connect and understand and explore and play, because I think that's the most important thing. We've forgotten as adults to play. So I invite you to the Body Hotel, at the Body Hotel, hashtag. It's hashtag U-Time Redefined as well. And thank you so much for having me today. Great to have a conversation.
Thania. That's amazing. Go follow Thania at the Body Hotel and stay tuned for her launch day.